Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Super Breakfast Friends Club. And the not scary baby show for Mel that we found because she's a weenie baby.
What are you talking about? This show scared me senseless.
Oh, really?
I had a complaint to file with you that this show is too scary.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
It'll keep me up for weeks.
Well, you're gonna have to deal with it.
What if I choose not to?
Sorry, that's not on the menu.
How do you know?
I wrote the menu.
I'm going to a different restaurant.
Nope. Doors are locked. Everywhere else is closed.
Well, then I'm burning it down.
Okay, I guess that's an option you have.
As we've learned, I don't value anyone's life.
Let's just leave that unanswered. Unexplored. Play the theme song.
I just don't think nearly 3,000 damage is that much friendly fire.
Mel.
Yeah?
Do we need to hash this out?
Yeah.
All right, do you want to explain?
No,
Okay. Well, then no one's going to know what you're talking about.
that's not true. Scormac knows.
Hi, Scormac. We watched Costume Quest this week.
Too scary.
You ended that in a way that sounded like there was more to come.
No,
Okay.
it's just too frightening, and I'm mad about it.
What did you think of the opening theme?
It's good. It's fun.
Yeah, it's alright. It could be catchier, but at least it has an opening theme, which is pretty rare these days.
Right, we've been through so many episodes where they don't even bother, so you shut your entire pie hole.
Yeah, I will. I'll close it. Let me just wind the crank until it's fully closed.
What are you, like a nutcracker?
Yeah, what about it?
I just didn't know.
Okay, well, maybe if you'd asked, you know?
No.
No, I know. Costume Quest, have you played it?
No, but I think I own it.
I've played it. I played it back when it came out, and then I played it again on stream a few years ago. I really like it. It's a really good game.
I remember you liking it a lot when it came out.
Yeah, it came out in 2010 for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. And then it came to PC a year later. So it's made by Double Fine Productions, who I think... I've thought about this before, and I think if I had to pick one studio that's my favorite game studio, it would probably be them.
It turns out I do not own Costume Quest,
You
just so everybody
liar.
is kept up to date.
You
I know,
liar.
I'm sorry. I just wanted everyone to think I was cool and I could play scary games like a cool person.
So Double Fine Productions made Psychonauts and Brutal Legend and The Cave and Broken Age and a ton of other stuff. I like them.
Neat.
They made the remakes of Day of the Tentacle and Grim Fandango, and
I think I have those, and I haven't played those either.
those are good too. I don't think that Double Fine have made a game I don't like, although there's a couple I haven't played, so I can't judge those. Everything I've played from them, I've loved.
Yeah, there's Grim Fandango. And there's Day of the Tentacle. Look at that.
That's a fun one.
I am still a fake gamer girl, though.
That's okay. You got time. You can play them someday. During the development of Brutal Legend, Vivendi, who were the original publisher for the game, merged with Activision, and the new resulting company no longer wanted to publish Brutal Legend.
Oh.
So they just kind of lost their publisher suddenly. Eventually, the game got picked up by EA and published by them. But in the period in between, where they didn't know if they had a publisher or not, they split into a bunch of teams and they spent 2 weeks working on prototypes for small game ideas. This became known as Amnesia Fortnite.
Okay.
And that became a semi-annual event within the studio. And then eventually in 2012, it became a public event and fans could participate and vote on which prototypes would be developed into full games. So Costume Quest was the first completed game from the original batch of prototypes before it was public. Costume Quest was created by Tasha Sonat, who at the time was known as Tasha Harris. I guess she got married afterwards. She's an animator who had worked at Pixar. She started at Pixar from A Bug's Life, and then she worked there up until around when Cars was made, and then she left to work as the lead animator on Brutal Legend. And then in 2011, she left Double Fine and went back to Pixar. And apparently now, she is the Associate Creative Director of Theme Parks.
What?
I'm assuming that means that she's one of the people in charge whenever they do Pixar stuff for Disneyland. She's probably like supervising.
You're telling me she doesn't just every day make a new theme park?
Well, I like to think that she's the creative director of all theme parks the world over. So every time somebody makes a theme park, she shows up and she's like, yep, carry on.
That's a theme park.
Costume Quest is a modern-day turn-based RPG that basically has a job system based around Halloween costumes.
I do like a job system.
You have to put together new costumes to unlock new classes. And it's set entirely around a modern-day town on Halloween night using candy as currency. It's great. I love it. There's like a trick or treat mechanic in it where you knock on doors and then there's like a tense moment before the door opens and then you find out whether you get candy or you have to battle someone.
You have to battle your neighbors?
No, either a human comes to the door and gives you candy or a monster comes to the door and you fight them.
Can a monster not also give you candy?
I mean, I guess you win candy after the battle. It's just you have to fight for it.
That's rude.
Yeah, well, that's monsters.
You considered asking nicely?
No.
Do you even give them a trick or treat, or do you just give them a fist to the face? Are you sure it's not your fault that the monsters are so angry?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. There's a more direct inciting incident in the game than there is in the show, because the monsters kidnap your sibling. So in 2012, Zach Gorman drew a Costume Quest comic for his webcomic, Magical Game Time. Do you want to see it?
Okay.
I got it.
I think I've seen it before?
Yeah, it's cute.
Maybe not. I've seen a lot of this guy's comics.
Yeah, I like it. It's cute. It's a good comic. And apparently the comic caught the attention of Double Fine, and then that led to Gorman making an official Costume Quest graphic novel, which is called Invasion of the Candy Snatchers. I haven't read it, but I looked at the previews for it. It looks good.
That doesn't sound like you at all.
What, having not read it?
Yeah.
Didn't know it existed until now, to be honest.
That doesn't sound like you at all.
I found out about it yesterday. Hey, I barely knew this show existed.
I didn't know that it was a thing.
No. So the Invasion of the Candy Snatchers graphic novel then led to Frederator Studios hiring Zach Gorman to write and storyboard a Costume Quest animated short. Frederator, for anybody who doesn't know the name, I think famously developed a lot of pilots, which ended up becoming TV shows for Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
Yeah, anybody who was watching Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon in the early and mid 2000s has definitely heard that Frederator
Yeah.
person?
Yeah, so they did Adventure Time. I think they did Fairly Odd Parents. Apparently they were involved in the Netflix Castlevania, which I probably knew back when we covered it, but had forgotten.
That was a year ago.
It was more than that, I think.
Was that our first Halloween?
Yeah, I think so.
Ew.
Yeah.
We've been doing this too long, Mike.
I know.
It's time to stop.
I don't know. If people keep putting money in our Patreon, I don't know if we can stop.
We're legally obliged to keep going.
So yeah, the Costume Quest animated short ended up developing into a full animated series, which was released as an Amazon Prime original. There is one season of 14 episodes. This first episode that we looked at released on March 8th, 2019, along with the first half of the season. The second half released on October 11th, which feels more appropriate to me.
Yeah.
And then there's one final holiday-themed episode, which was held back until November 22nd.
Holiday is in Christmas?
Yeah.
That's a strange thing to be doing in your costume.
Well, there's a Christmas DLC for the game as well.
Do you dress as a Santaman?
I don't know. I haven't played... I've got the DLC, but I've never played it. I need to actually do that at some point. But I always think about Costume Quest at Halloween, so I'm never thinking about it at Christmas when it would be appropriate to play the DLC.
It feels sacrilegious to have Christmas in there.
Yeah.
Jack Skellington didn't mend all those bridges.
The DLC is called Grubbins on Ice, I think.
Like the Pokemon?
No, but that is the name of a Pokemon now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, when you do a search for Grubbin, all that comes up is Pokemon. But Grubbin was also the name of the main enemy from Costume Quest.
Are we sure it wasn't just a big freak Grubbin?
I guess I haven't played the DLC. I can't say for sure. Anyway, this episode has 2 segments.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting that for some reason.
No, me neither. And also...
Felt a little weird?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that it was necessary, like having watched the episode. We'll talk about that when we get to it. But, yeah, the first segment is called For the Love of Lincoln. It's written by Brian Caselli, who also wrote for Star vs. the Forces of Evil and was a director for DC Superhero Girls. Like, the first thing we see is a monster hand grabbing a candy bar from the bushes.
Yeah, it's very spooky.
We know they're out there. Yeah, is that the first time you got scared, or?
No, it was the intro. I saw a centipede. There was a scary anchor.
Was there? I don't remember any of that.
Yeah. I was very frightened.
So the kids, our main 4 kids, are leaving an amusement park called Nougat Town. This isn't a place in the game. The game has a traveling carnival, which I don't think has a name. But this is a new location for the show.
It seems like it's going to feature pretty prominently.
Yeah, seems like it's almost the central location of the whole story from what we saw
Yeah, I think
here.
we're going to find our way back here a few more times.
Yeah, this group is basically the player's full party from the game plus 1. You only have
plus 1.
Yeah, you only have 3 characters in your party in the game. At the beginning of the game, you choose whether you want to play as Ren or Reynold, and whichever one you don't choose is kidnapped by the villain and stays missing for the rest of the game.
Gotcha.
So we have Ren Carver, played by Gabriella Graves. The first role listed for her on IMDb was playing Ren in Costume Quest 2. I haven't played Costume Quest 2, and I didn't realize it had voice acting, but all 4 of the kids are played by the same people who played them in Costume Quest 2 here.
That's cute.
Yeah, I like that. She also played young Peggy Carter in the Agent Carter TV series. She's the voices of Bianca and Mary Pat in the DreamWorks' Spirit series about the horse. I don't know I've never seen any Spirit stuff.
I know of him.
Yeah, he's out there. She's also both sweetie and salty in The Chicken Squad. I don't know what that is.
No.
And she plays Maddie in Lego City Adventures. Then we got Renaud Carver, Ren's twin brother, who is played by Sloan Letourneau.
Okay.
He also played Renaud in Costume Quest 2, and he played Clay in Veep. He has probably the smallest list of roles out of everybody in the cast. Then we've got Lucy Chu, played by Ali Urrutia, who mostly has small roles in short films. She starred in one called The Adventures of Lucy, and she played Daisy McWayne in an episode of Spirit Riding Free, so she worked with Ren's voice actor in something else as well. And then we've got Everett Nichols, played by Isaac Ryan Brown, the most prolific of the 4 kid voices, because he played Booker, Raven's son, in Raven's Home, the That's So Raven reboot about Raven as an adult.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I had heard about it, but I had forgotten.
Somehow the idea of Raven having children is just weird to me.
Yeah.
Like, if you have weird psychic powers, you have to go live alone in a tiny little house reading fortunes by the side of the road. That's your life. That's your lot in life.
Stop trying to pigeonhole minority women.
What?
Yeah, the minority in this case being mind readers.
No, the minority in this case being witches, which I am a member of. I myself am a forest hag.
I thought you were a swamp hag.
I got a promotion.
Oh, okay. Oh, good for you.
Considering there aren't a lot of swamps around here.
I thought it was a literal swamp.
No, I haven't seen an alligator, so...
Okay.
That's the one criteria required for a swamp.
I don't think that's... I think that's inaccurate, but okay.
Fine, I'm a swamp hag. Everybody knows it now. We don't get the respect that the forest hags get.
Well, maybe you cleaned up a bit.
Don't try and change me.
I've given up. So Isaac also played Gus in The Owl House, which is what I know him from. He also played Bingo in Puppy Dog Pals and Stinky in The Stinky and Dirty Show.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what that show is, but I liked the name.
Yeah, now I see why we couldn't name our podcast that.
Yeah, it was taken. It's the only reason.
The one and only reason. We were both in agreement.
So the kids are discussing their favorite attractions at the... It's like a park/factory, right?
Yeah, where they produced nougat bars.
Yeah, which seem to be the only candy anyone eats in this town.
Seems to be the only thing anybody eats, period.
That's true. We never see any other food. No, actually, that's not true. We see some donuts in the second segment.
Oh, that's right. What if they're full of nougat? Well, it's because there's something about this nougat that these monsters don't like.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think they like it too much.
True.
I think that's the problem.
They want to get their hands on those purple berries.
So the kids are now leaving the theme park to go and get the new Abe Lincoln Jr. costumes. They get interrupted by the Ned Nougat animatronic show, which is a thing that happens.
Yeah, it was a thing that we saw.
All the kids are really into it except for Ren. Although that does seem to be the common thread throughout this entire show. All the kids are in agreement except for Ren. And we get to see a commercial for Abe Lincoln Jr., interdimensional mega hero, starring Rudy Toots.
He's not some boring politician. He's a crime fighter.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the obsession with Abe Lincoln is.
I don't know, but I'm into it. I mean, we did also have, like, what was it, Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter or something?
That's true. What was that? There's that like steampunk game where Abe Lincoln was a character as well.
Ace Attorney Chronicles.
No, it was on the DS. Oh wait, I guess so was Ace Attorney Chronicles. I don't know. There was an Abe Lincoln costume in the game, but it's only worn by NPCs. You don't get to use it.
Wouldn't be the same anyway. It wouldn't have the jetpack and the cannons.
Well, no, this is Abe Lincoln Jr.
So it was just regular old Abe Lincoln?
Yeah.
Boring. What did he ever do?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about America. What did he ever do?
Get shot in the head.
And slavery.
Yeah.
Whatever. Rudy Toots is played by Robbie Daymond, who played Tuxedo Mask in Sailor Moon, Kenshiro in Fist of the North Star. He's Joe in Digimon Adventure Tri. He's Goro in Persona 5. He's Prompto in Final Fantasy 15. He plays Orbulon, Mike, and Young Cricket in WarioWare. He played Spider-Man in the 2017 cartoon series. And he's the main guy in Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, I still have to play that.
Yeah, me too. Yes, he's doing all right for himself.
Yeah.
When the kids get to the store, there are only 4 costumes left. But the guy running it puts up a sold-out sign because he wants those ones, even though he's already wearing one.
Even though he's just one guy.
Yeah. Also, he's an adult man, so if these are costumes that would fit these kids, they fit him as well?
Listen, I'm extremely confused on the body proportions in this show. This does seem to be a one-size-fits-all costume.
Yeah, by the way, the art style of this show doesn't really look like the game at all, because it's much more heavily based on the comic, I think, on Zach Gorman's comic art, which is nice. Interesting that they chose to, like, base the art style of the game on the way a licensed comic looked, rather than the actual game itself.
Show?
Yeah. Exactly. Because the show is a lot more chibi, I guess.
I guess. I just don't know that I would use that word regarding this style.
Did I say the show is more chibi? I meant the game is.
Now I don't know which one you said.
Okay. I meant this.
Oh, yeah.
Because the art style of the game is, I think, very inspired by the sprites in Super Nintendo era RPGs, because that's what it was mostly inspired by.
With big giant heads?
Yeah, big giant heads and little tiny bodies.
Itty bitty baby bodies.
But the heads are still big in the show, but the bodies are a lot more elongated. The characters are a lot taller. Dudley is played by Max Mittelman. I say it like that, so it doesn't sound like middleman. I guess it's Middleman. Max Middleman. He played Saitama in One Punch Man and Lex Luthor in My Adventures with Superman. He's also played Jimmy Olsen in a bunch of different things. He's Red 13 in Final Fantasy VII Remake.
He's the kitty cat.
Yeah. You can rename every character in Final Fantasy VII. I did that the first time I played it. I renamed everybody because I didn't care what their names were.
Right.
I called Red 13 Fluffy, and I stand by that.
Mr. Whiskers. Mittens.
It's a good name. So we get this montage of them checking other stores for the costume, but even the dentist is sold out of the costumes.
I do like, he opens the doors, and he's like,
"Kid, this is a dentist office, and we sold out of Lincoln's hours ago."
Yeah, I like that too. And they come across a store that's called Norm's. It's an antique store that's full of creepy stuff. And Norm is played by someone that I am surprised we've never talked about before. He's played by Fred Tatasciore, who is in pretty much everything. I opened up his IMDb and I was like, okay, I don't want to look at this. I want to look through this whole list. It's too much.
Intimidated.
The things that are relevant to us the most. He played Saren and Balak in Mass Effect.
Okay.
He played the tank and the boomer in Left 4 Dead.
No.
He was Uncle Mario in Assassin's Creed 2, which I think is the first time I became aware of him. He's Frost Tiger in Beautiful Joe. He was Sabo in the Blue Dragon game, but not the anime. Sabo was the robot general leading the the bad guy army. He plays Tabitha and Rhonda in Fallout New Vegas.
Okay.
He was Rocksteady in the 2012 Ninja Turtles show. He is the current voice of Reptar from Rugrats.
What do you mean current voice?
Well, they're still making Rugrats stuff.
I don't think I knew that.
No, the 3D show got cancelled. But they've apparently announced a live-action CGI Rugrats movie, however that works.
Ew.
Yeah, and Reptar's playable in that Nickelodeon Smash Brothers game.
Okay.
He's also the current voice of Yosemite Sam in Looney Tunes. And he seems to alternate playing Taz with Jim Cummings.
Okay.
And he plays the Hulk in most of the animated and video game Hulk appearances. He was also Ned Nougat earlier in this episode, the animatronic guy.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's just scraping the surface of his resume. So if you don't know who he is, go look him up. He'll be in at least 200 things that you like. Norm's very excited about the fact that these kids want costumes. He's very confident in his ability to serve them costumes.
So he produces a teeny tiny harmonica and plays a teeny tiny song and reveals his giant costume hoard.
Yeah. And the other kids are really excited. But Ren just wants the officially licensed Abe Lincoln Jr. costume.
I kind of get it.
I don't.
Where it's I don't understand wanting the same costume that literally everybody else in town has. But I understand wanting the cheap Spirit Halloween costume instead of the homemade costume put together with pipe cleaners and dreams.
I don't. I think that the dumb pullover costume was worse.
I agree. I'm saying if I were a kid,
right,
in this position, I get it.
Okay. There's a second here where Lucy is wearing a unicorn hat, and that's actually part of one of the costumes from the game, but it doesn't appear again.
No, Lucy's a jellyfish from this point forward.
Yeah, I thought for sure that she was going to be the unicorn, but no, the kids make their costumes, and only one of these costumes is actually from the game, and that is Everett's robot costume.
Not the best costume.
No?
The jellyfish.
You like the jellyfish the most?
It's my favorite. She's my favorite character because she is a jellyfish.
What was your least favorite?
Character or costume?
Costume.
We haven't really seen a lot of the magician.
No, I was going to say that I think the magician's my least favorite of these. Though I still don't get the Abe Lincoln obsession.
I don't either, but the fact that it turns her into this beefy, cannon-wielding man from history is pretty funny.
Yeah, Everett is the robot, Reynold is the magician, Lucy is the jellyfish, and Ren is now in a handmade Abe Lincoln Jr. costume, which she's really down on, but I think it looks better than the t-shirt costumes all the other kids earlier had.
Yeah, which is kind of wild. Except for the, paper towel holder cannons, everything else looks better quality.
Yeah. And she's made additions to it based on her fanfic.
Right. This is where we learn that that's why she's such a fan.
Yeah. And Norm thinks that her additions are the best part of it. I like Norm.
Norm's a good guy.
He gives the kids the costumes for free as well, which also makes me like him more. But then he, for a second, starts telling a really dramatic story about something that happened 100 years ago. But then he gets interrupted by a shady guy coming in, and he just closes up the secret room, kicks the kids out the back door, and tells them not to tell anyone where the costumes came from. But he mentions something about Repugnian something. So,
Is that the monster race?
yeah, they're actually called the Repugnians in the game, but he says Repugnians, and that sounds better in my opinion.
I agree.
I think Repugnian gives a clearer through line to the word repugnant than Repugnian does.
Just rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah. So the kids are walking home, and the shady guy is following them. He compliments their costumes, and he wants to know where they came from.
But before that, I just like how supportive Lucy is of Ren's Abe Lincoln fanfic.
Yeah.
So, Ren, Abe's got a Nitro Boost jetpack in the fanfic now?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
She's a fan. She reads it.
That is nice. This shady guy never gets named, but he's played by Max Middleman, same as Dudley it was. And he's got an official Abe Lincoln costume that he wants to trade for their costumes. And Ren she doesn't even think about it. She just hands it over.
It's all she's ever wanted.
Yeah, but I don't get it, Ren.
I don't know.
But she drops a nougat bar as she hands it over. And when the guy sees it, he just starts drooling purple and gets real aggressive about it.
Isn't that what everyone does?
Is that what you
purple
do?
And get aggressive?
When you see nougat?
It's been a while since I've seen nougat, so
Can't confirm.
quite possibly.
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure either. So the kids run to Nougat Town and they hide among the animatronics, but they start activating their costumes and Everett launches a firework by accident.
Because they're trying to become part of the set piece. So they're putting themselves into the role of their costumes to disappear and thus activating their powers.
Yeah.
Except for Ren.
And he finds them because of the firework and chases them into a back room. But he just completely steps over Ren. She trips over on the way in and he just walks right by her. Because she's wearing the shitty official costume.
Yeah, she has no magic.
Yeah, she's not wearing the handmade with love costume.
Can you say that it was made with love if it's just assembled
Yes.
stuff?
I think so. More so than this one, which was probably stitched together by slave labor in African countries.
I mean, I don't know about that part, but I'm just saying, I don't think Ren was feeling the emotion love when she assembled this.
I think she put it together lovingly, but she just... You know, when you make something and then you're done with it and everyone else is like, that's really good, but you're like, I don't know, it's not how I imagined it.
I think that's a completely different thing than what's going on here.
Okay. I don't know. Well, I mean, it works. When she realizes that he only wants the other 3 costumes, and then she runs back and gets her handmade Abe Lincoln Jr. costume. And then she transforms into Abe Lincoln Jr. and beats the guy up.
A handmade Abe Lincoln.
In the game, they become much more like the thing that the costume is.
How can you be much more like a jellyfish than a jellyfish?
But, well, it's a jellyfish, but it's still got Lucy's face.
Okay.
Whereas in the game, it wouldn't have that. It would just be a straight-up jellyfish. Hang on, I'll find you an example. Here, look. Here's the French fries costume and what you look like in battle while wearing the French fries costume.
Okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So yeah, if this was in the game, she would actually become fully Abe Lincoln Jr. Because in the show here, it's Abe Lincoln Jr. but with Ren's head.
Yeah.
Which, in the game it would just be Abe Lincoln Jr. on the rampage. So the guy, when he sees them all transformed, he starts screaming, "They're back!" and his human face gets revealed to be a mask, and he's a monster underneath, and he escapes.
Oh no!
And the kids are like, "We gotta go speak to Norm again, 'cause something's up about this."
And a scary lady in a tower glowers from above.
Yeah, in the Nougat Town clock tower. Ooh, we won't find out much about her in this episode.
Or the next.
Well, I'm considering this next segment part of this episode.
Since it's just a continuation
Well, no,
from exactly where we leave.
I mean it is a part of the same episode. This segment is called Monsters in Our Midst, and it's written by Kyra Lee Burke, who has written for Mr. Peabody and Sherman, Rainbow High, Rainbow Vision, Project Rainbow, Polly Pocket, The Littlest Pet Shop, My Little Pony Equestria Girls. She's quite focused on a very specific gendered show, I would say.
No.
But, there's nothing wrong with that. If you found your niche, lean into it. Niche it out. But this is the next morning, and the kids have arrived back at Norm's, and they recap the whole last segment, even though it's the same episode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't need to recap this. It's the same episode.
Listen, my memory only extends so far.
So far.
30 seconds at least.
Norm's is closed, and he's got a sign up saying he's gone fishing, even though it's not fishing season.
What? You're telling me that sign could have multiple interpretations?
Beats me. I mean, Norm just kind of doesn't come up again for the rest of this episode, right?
What if he is just fishing in the off season?
Yeah. What if he just doesn't know?
What if he's a poacher?
Oh my god, do you think?
No. No, I don't.
Everett wants to tell his mom everything that happened, which I'm kind of surprised he didn't do overnight.
Yeah, since we're in a completely new day now.
Yeah. But Ren doesn't want to tell Everett's mom because she's worried that Everett's mom could be a monster, and anyone could be a monster.
A momster?
Momster, yeah. But she gets outvoted, so they go to find Everett's mom, who is a cop. This is where we meet Bonnie Nichols, played by Cree Summer.
Who's also in everything.
Yeah, we've talked about Cree Summer before because she played Kitana in Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm.
I forgot.
I completely forgot, but Officer Nichols is actually a minor character in the game. She blocks off a few of the streets in the first neighborhood you go to.
Oh.
She looks completely different from this in the game. In the game, she kind of looks like a Pianta from Mario Sunshine.
Okay.
And I don't think the game ever confirms any relationship between her and Everett, but it fits, it makes sense. We never learn Everett's last name in the game, so. And she is in the same neighborhood that Everett lives in. And she knows the names of all the kids, which would make sense if her son's at the school with them.
Yeah. If they're friends.
Yeah. So she plays along with them, but it was pretty obvious to me immediately that she thinks she's playing pretend with the kids.
Well, yeah. Why would anyone believe a bunch of kids that ran up and said that there were monsters?
Yeah, I know. Then a car crash happens and she has to stop playing and go. So then a tour bus pulls up and we learn that Ren and Reynolds' dad is the tour guy.
Yeah.
And he points his kids out as a landmark.
Calls them celebrities, his beautiful children.
And then he points out the town founder statue behind them. This comes to nothing. I really thought there was going to be more to this. But we learn about the town founder, Scotopulus Auburn.
I mean, it's the first episode. It'll probably come back around.
I'm sure it will. I just thought that we would get more of an explanation of it at this point.
I noticed in the background there is a shop called MacGuffins.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It was pretty good. Yeah, Auburn Pines is the name of the first town in the game as well. So they've kept that. I think in the game you go to Auburn Pines first, because that's where you live. And then you go to the Autumn Haven Mall, I want to say. And then the third world is kind of like a rural town called Fall Valley. And that's where the carnival is. Gordon Carver, Ren and Reynolds' dad, is played by Eric Lopez, who apparently, since The Simpsons has started recasting a lot of its minority characters to be played by people who really are members of that minority group. He is the new voice of the Bumblebee Man.
Oh, okay.
So I've never heard him as the Bumblebee Man because I haven't watched The Simpsons in like a decade, but but he's doing it now. He also has played a lot of random thugs and soldiers in different video games. So
All right.
that was a lot of his resume. And he's been the voice of Blue Beetle in a few different DC Comics shows and games. So Everett wants to warn this whole busload of people about the monsters. So they get on the bus. Gordon gives Reynolds the mic and tells him to try giving the tour because apparently he's a real nut about the town's history and landmarks, which I guess we saw a little bit of in the first one because he was really into Nougat Town.
I feel like he's probably been dragged on this tour with his dad a number of times.
Yeah, and he's loved it every time,
Yeah.
I feel like.
And that's why he can give the tour.
It's probably like the two of them get taken on the tour all the time and Ren hates it and Reynolds loves it. That's my assumption.
Yeah.
And this is basically used as a vehicle to like give us more information about Nougat Town. Because he, in the tour, introduces us to Lady Una, the creepy old lady we saw in the tower at the end of the first segment. She's probably going to be important. I don't know.
No.
She's never going to appear again after this one.
I would pee my pants if that happened.
You pee your pants anyway.
Yeah, but this time I'd have a reason.
That's true. You'd have an excuse.
It'd be more meaningful.
You'd sitting there rubbing your hands. Finally.
Nothing could stop me now.
Everett snatches the mic and starts talking about the monster. And the tourists all just think it's part of the tour.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
He's like, who's with me? And then they all excitedly join in, thinking it's a monster tour.
A spooky monster Halloween themed tour. Fun! I wish there were some around here.
But then the kids get kicked off the bus. And Gordon looks very angry. Presumably because now he has to find a way to make it a monster tour.
Yeah.
But some lady called Gail shows up and invites them to a support group for people who've seen the monsters.
There was also a lost cat bus poster.
Was there?
It's very clearly the cat bus, but you only see half of it.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's cool. Oh, yeah, there he is. Well, that's a big
It's
reward.
like a reverse cat bus.
It's at least $198 reward, but the fact that the 8 is only like halfway along the cat's face suggests a few more digits to me.
I mean, it's a big cat. How are you going to bring it in?
That's true. So Gail here is played by Candy Milo, who is another one who is just in everything. She is the current voice of Granny in Looney Tunes, and she was also the original voice of Sweetie in Tiny Toons. She was Mom in Cow and Chicken.
There's a blast from the past.
Yeah, she took over the voice of Dexter in Dexter's Lab after Christine Cavanaugh retired. She played Nora Wakeman in My Life as a Teenage Robot. I never watched that show, but I like the character designs.
I watched a little bit. I don't know that I ever really formed an opinion of it. It was just kind of a show that was on that I neither hated nor liked.
Right. She played Nick Dean in Jimmy Neutron. I guess he's like the bully. I never really watched that show either.
I think he's the popular kid.
And she was the voice of Coco and Madame Foster in Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, which I did watch a lot.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah. Ren turns Gail down on the support group meeting, but she gives them a flyer anyway. And then Everett guilts the others into going to it. This whole segment is basically like Everett and Ren have complete opposite opinions on what they should do, and everyone goes with Everett's idea every time.
Yeah.
Even though he turns out to be wrong every time.
Well, because Everett's trying to find an adult to take care of this problem
Yeah.
for them. And Ren just wants to go fight monsters.
Yeah, that becomes much clearer during the fight at the end. Exactly what Everett is doing. So Ren thinks that this meeting is a trap, but they decide to go in their costumes and to bring some candy so that they can detect monsters. So they go to the school gym, where they recognize most of the people there. We're introduced to Dog Walker Doyle and Mail Lady Helen.
I love that he has a wife beater that just says "I heart dogs" on it.
Yeah. So he's played by Eric Lopez again, and Helen is played by Candy Milo again. As Everett tells their story, Ren starts eating a nougat bar, and everyone at the meeting starts drooling purple.
So they've just lived in this town with monsters the entire time?
Yeah, I guess so.
Why only now is this an issue?
I don't know. The town is literally the town where this nougat candy is made. You would think the kids are eating nougat bars all the time. You would think someone would have started drooling around them before now. Drooling
Maybe
purple.
it's like a body snatchers thing.
Oh.
And the real Doyle the dog walker is being held in a cotton candy cocoon somewhere.
Maybe.
I just mixed my movies.
I can't, that's fine. I don't know, because this is very different from the game. This doesn't follow the plot of the game at all.
Right.
Other than the 4 kids, it's really just like entirely different. Anyway, the kids all transform with their costumes, and most of the monsters are just like, I don't want to deal with this, and leave.
Except Gale.
Except Gale, who transforms into a beast and fights them alone.
She can, like, teleport.
Yeah, she's got some powers. And I guess Everett ends up fighting her alone. What did she, like, grab all the others? I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And this is where as he's fighting, he explains what his problem has been this whole episode.
Kids should be at home playing video games, not out fighting monsters. That's why we're trying to tell an adult to get help and make things go back to normal. It's not our fault no one listens.
Relatable. I want to be at home playing a video game where I fight monsters instead of doing it in real life.
Yeah. So he beats Gale, and then she gets Grubbinized. So, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Grubbins are just kind of like the basic enemies in Costume Quest.
They're the first evolution, and then it turns into Charge-a-Bug, and then Vikavolt.
So Gale escapes into an air vent. I'm assuming Gale is her real name.
Gale the monster.
We're not given another name for her. So Everett accepts that nobody's going to help them and looks to Ren to make a plan. And we see a monster watching them from up in a tree.
Oh no.
And that's the end.
Oh no. It was too scary, Mike.
I'm sorry. We'll find you something less scary to watch next time.
You promise?
Yeah, I promise.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would watch the rest of that.
I'm confused by the choice to release it in March.
A little, yeah.
Like, they're very clear that it's very clearly autumn, the entire show, and they keep mentioning that it's like Halloween season.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was just a case of like they were worried if they dropped the entire show in October, people wouldn't watch the whole thing.
Why?
Just for like, if you've got to watch 14 episodes in 1 month, maybe you drop off halfway through. But if you got to watch 7 episodes in March and 7 episodes in October, the retention might be better. I don't know.
Whoa, 14 whole episodes.
Hey.
In an era where people binge watch as their preferred method of media consumption.
I don't know what the thinking was. I'm just trying to come up with anything that makes sense, because this doesn't. It's probably like 7 of them were done, and then the other 7 were being made while those ones aired, but
yeah,
like, why not just hold the whole lot until October? It's Halloween. It's a Halloween show. Anyway, yeah, it's not following the plot of the game at all, but I think that's because the game takes place entirely on Halloween night, and it would be very difficult to make 14 episodes on Halloween night. So they've written a story that kind of encompasses the entire month of October instead, I think.
Yeah. Unless you want to do the 24 method.
Yeah.
And every episode's like half an hour of real time. That sounds terrible.
Even then, that's 14 hours. That's more than Halloween night.
I mean, you start it earlier. It doesn't all have to happen at nighttime.
I guess, but it should. And it all happens at nighttime in the game because it's literally just you're out trick-or-treating and also fighting things. Also, if they followed the plot of the game exactly, then Reynold wouldn't be in it, I assume.
He'd be dead.
Yeah, he'd be... So what happens in the game is you head out with bad costumes. You've got the robot costume and your sibling is dressed as a candy corn. And the monsters mistake your sibling for an actual giant candy corn and steal it and take it back to Repugnia.
Can you ever wear the candy corn costume and turn into a candy corn?
No, you can't use the candy corn costume in gameplay.
Boo.
I'm sorry.
Shit game. 0 out of 10.
Do you want me to list the things you can be?
Yeah.
Robot, Knight, Statue of Liberty, Space Warrior, Unicorn, Ninja, Pumpkin, Vampire, French Fries, Black Cat, and Grubbin.
French fries. Best class.
I'm trying to remember what I used because I know I had like a very specific, I was like, yeah, these are the best costumes, and I just kept them on the entire game.
I'm gonna min-max my costume.
I'm pretty sure I stuck with the robot the whole game because the robot also gives you like a speed boost on the overworld so you can go twice as fast. Oh, there's a hot dog costume in the second game. I gotta play it.
Uh-oh.
And Jefferson! So you can't be Lincoln in the games, but you can be Jefferson.
It looks like the second game has a candy corn costume.
Does it? Oh, yeah!
Yeah. Best game, 10 out of 10,
Okay.
candy corn.
Well, that was probably people's complaint with the first one, was the lack of the actual usable candy corn costumes, so...
The one and only complaint.
Did you see the picture of what the candy corn costume makes you look like in battle?
A candy corn? Yeah? That's it? That's the one.
That's the one. So yeah, good game. You should play it. Everyone should play it. It's fun.
It reminded me that I need to beat #blood.
Oh yeah.
There aren't any costumes in that, but it has a similar vibe.
It says here that if you complete the game with one character wearing candy corn in every fight, you get an achievement called Hardcorn Mode.
I would do it just for the achievement. Put it on my Steam profile.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got.
There's no legacy.
No, there hasn't been another costume quest thing since this game, since this show, so.
Not even a graphic novel.
No, that came out before this show.
I'm saying there hasn't been one since.
No, there hasn't been anything else. Not yet, but hopefully, because I like it. Do you hear that, Double Fine Productions? Do more costume quest stuff, please.
Specifically for me, little boy Michael.
Yes, who hasn't played the second game yet?
I haven't given you my money, but I demand your services.
I think I own it, I just haven't played it. No, I don't own it.
Shameful.
Wait, maybe I have it on Epic. I do have it. Okay, I have Costume Quest 2 on Epic, so I do own it.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Do you have anything to say, Mel?
Give us money.
Which you can do at patreon.com/Super Breakfast Friends Club and join the other members of our VIP club, Jamie Core and Mark Kelly. Thanks.
Thanks, friends.
You already gave us money, so you
Yeah.
don't have to. You don't have to.
So you get a treat this Halloween. Everyone else gets tricks.
Oh no, it's not Halloween yet.
So,
You already planning the tricks?
obviously.
Alright. I'm Skull Pirate Mike, and you can find me on the internet. Come and look at my new Parappa picture. It's doing numbers on the internet.
Come and look at my wares.
Come, check out my Etsy store. Come and watch me streaming things. It's a good time. You can have a very fun. Like and subscribe. Follow ring the bell.
Feast your eyes on that which is me.
And the opposite for Mel.
Yeah, no. Cast your eyes aside. If you look at me, you will see things you can never unsee and enter into a world of darkness and madness.
Sounds fun.
It's not particularly.
Oh, not even for you?
I mean, it's my world of darkness and madness, so I'm having a blast, but nobody else has moderator rights in it, so...
Bye! I want to play Costume Quest now.
Then do it, coward!
It's not Halloween enough yet.
It's October.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
October 9th.
So?
Not to date the episode.
You could just not put this part in it.
No, this is going in.
What if I say some bad words that make you cut it out?
Go on. Oh my god, I can't believe you said that. That's so much worse than anyone could have imagined it was, but I bleeped it out. So everyone just has to imagine how bad a word it was.
It was so bad we have to retroactively delete the episode. Yeah? What's your point?
No point. Just, you know.